So this video is to accompany Cecil the Sand Gecko. So this is the latest Ed's Dye Club installment. It is an absolutely beautiful soft pastel. So on your cream yarn, you've got just a touch of primrose, coral, sage and peony there, all in one skein. So what I want to do is, it is a very unusual design for me, and that's because you're not going to be sewing on the legs. The legs are actually integrated in the shape. So when you're crocheting, you're going to start at the tip of the tail and you're going to go upwards. And what you do to create the leg holes is you chain, and then you miss some stitches, and then you continue to double crochet in between. And what that leaves you with is 2 leg holes at the back like that, and 2 at the front like that. And that's what I just want to show you here, is how to pick up those stitches to work your legs on. Now this one here has been wired using our aluminium modelling wire, which I absolutely love, because obviously you can really shape that around. You've got plenty of yarn to be able to make 2. If your tension's average, you should be able to make 2. So you could always wire one for yourself and then have one for someone else, smaller hands to play with. So let me just show you how you would pick them up. Now, to make it easy for you to see, I'm actually going to use peony. You'd obviously be using your hand dye yarn as you do it, but I'm going to do it in peony just so it's nice and easy for you to see those stitches. So what we've done with a leg hole is we've actually left 4 stitches on either side. So it's 8 stitches that you would have as clear stitches here. But what I want you to do is actually pick up 9. So I'm just going to show you where I would get that extra 1 from. So what you're going to do is make your whole body and head like that, and do stuff it as you go along. This one that I've got here isn't stuffed, but I would advise stuffing as you go along. It'll make your life a little bit easier. Then put your hook in to the last stitch that you worked. You see there's my 4 clear stitches that you left behind when you did your chain across the top. Leave a stitch, go in to the last stitch that was worked like that. Join that yarn in, and then do your 4 clear stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then take one from the edges. So you've got your 4 chains on the other side, but what you want to do is you want to take one from here. So take one from the edge, so that'll be your 5th, and then onto the other side of the chain. So 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you're going to be going back over there to do your 9. So put your stitch marker in at the point of which you've got your 9, and then you'll close that up into a round that you'll work your leg directly on. So what I mean by that is pop your stitch marker in there, and then you'll be working on these rounds. Now, the only tip to really note is do make sure that you're going in the right direction to get it right side outwards. So when you do rejoin as a right-handed crocheter, I'd be rejoining on the right-hand side of the hole on all of them. As a left-handed crocheter, do it the other way around, and then you'll find that you're definitely going the right way around to get the right side of your stitches on the outside. Now, if you haven't done this kind of jointed leg before, I'll just show you how that is done. So I'm just going to do a few rounds on these stitches, and then I'll show you how we create that lovely jointed leg so that it has a lot more character when it is standing. So you're going to carry on working the legs like this. Again, just to emphasise, I'm just using peony, so it was nice and easy for you to see where I was picking those stitches up. You will be using your hand dye, it would be what I'd recommend. So once you've worked your stated number of leg, what you need to do is fold it in half to create a joint. Now, you should be able to fold that immediately in half as the pattern states and close it off, and it will put the joint at the right angle. But if you think that yours is slightly not straight, like to one side, all you would need to do would be to put an extra stitch in or take one away, and I'll explain what I mean there in a second. So you'll work the top of this leg like this. So most importantly, when you are closing off your leg, make sure that you have got stuffing in the top half of that leg first. So you would have had stuffing in the body of your gecko, and then put a little bit more stuffing into that leg like that, so that you've got stuffing in that bit there that's at the top of the leg. And then to close it off before you reopen it and do a joint, all you're going to do is fold the whole round in half like that. So you've got it folded flat like that. And then you double crochet through both sides to close it off. Like that. And then what you'll do is turn your work and you'll actually double crochet into this side of the chain and that side of the chain to create a new round. So I've used this a few times now. Originally I did it on the tree frogs, but I have since used it on the gargoyles. Legs are done the same way. So 1, 2. Obviously follow your actual pattern for the numbers. I'm just showing you the technique here rather than the actual pattern. So make sure you do the number of rounds stated in your pattern before you do this closing. So 1, 2, 3, just make sure you get half of that there. 4, turn it over and then do the same thing on the other side of the chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what you've done there is you've created a new little round that has a joint built into it so that you can then move it any which way you want it to shape as your gecko wants to stand. Now, the thing that I was saying about the angle that the joint comes at, so you see, they should arrive flat. So your angles as you close them should be straight like that, in line with the body and head. If you find that when you fold yours flat, yours aren't that way, they might be the other way, just do 1 stitch or a couple of stitches before you fold them flat to make sure that you're going to get your joints folding inwards like that, because that's what you're aiming for, is your joints running in the same direction as your body. So close off that round at that angle, then you can just reopen and continue with the pattern to do the bottom of the leg. Another little tip about stuffing is before you do the final closing to put the toes on, just make sure you put a little bit of stuffing in the bottom of that leg too, and that'll just make it nice and 3D so it stands up. So I really hope you enjoy making this one. A really fun one, a totally different technique to integrate the legs in like that. I think for me it just makes it super cute. It's lovely to be able to sit and hold it in the hand like this. It's a perfect hand-sized project and a lovely springy yarn, once again celebrating those pastels.